I don't really want to talk about it.
Mark Davis with the Oakland Post. My name is Eric Freeman. A lot of the people in Oakland want to know, what do you think? What do you think about these allegations that there's a deal with San Diego and the Rams and the Raiders going to Southern California, but they want to be called Oakland? I mean, what are your thoughts on that, or have you heard that?
I don't quite understand the question.
Well, a lot of people saw you at the Clippers game and they associated that with those allegations.
What allegations?
So, I think what he's trying to say is, are you going to move the team to Carson?
Yeah. I'm trying to keep the team in Oakland.
Mr. Davis,
then why did you hire Carmen Policy?
Well, I'm working in Oakland right now and trying to get something done in Oakland and see what happens. And we have a parallel path going on in Los Angeles. In case we can't get something done, we have to have something.
But Mr. Davis, the mayor's concerned that basically you're working at cross purposes.
To work in Oakland for
We're working in Oakland. Why would I need to hire a Carmen Policy?
But the mayor's concerned that you actually paid for a video for San Diego, okay, in part with
for it?
Yeah, it's right there
video.
on the video for the stadium for San Diego says paid for in part by the Oakland Raiders. It says that. And the mayor's concerned that you're working at cross purposes.
Concerned?
Libby Schaff.
Is concerned what?
That you're working at cross purposes.
Okay, I think you're making accusations and things like that aren't true.
No, it's not an accusation.
Yeah, they are accusations.
No, it's not.
As I've told you, we're working as hard as we can to stay in Oakland. Okay? We're meeting with every one of their...
So you're willing to put money in Coliseum City if it calls for it? If you get a
We're putting $500 million into Coliseum City. So what do you say? Is that something new to you?
But what
no,
we've
not
been saying that for...
Sir, it's the pre-development expenditures that have been made, that have been publicly announced on the video, on the economic study that the Raiders were commissioned.
A video?
Hey, and the economic study, and Carmen Policy. I have a whole list of them. I'm happy to go through it.
Okay, excuse me. What do you guys want to know?
So are you moving to LA?
On the land deal
We're trying to get something done in Oakland, okay? If we can get something done in Oakland, we're staying in Oakland. I've said that continually and consistently for the last 5 years.
But you hired Mr. Policy to work
Yeah,
for
we
you
have to
in
hire.
LA.
We hire people. Yeah, we do.
Did you hire him because he was a Bay Area guy and maybe he might have some strings to pull around here, that maybe he has some rapport with some of the something?
I'm not going to talk about the process and why I'm doing things. He's been hired to work on the Los Angeles project.
What do you say to these guys out here, Mark? They're calling for you to stay.
I love the Raider fans.
They want you to do the right
Raiders
thing.
fans in work. Absolutely, I want to do the right thing. So what is the right thing for me to do?
Well, they're worried that you're buying titling land down in San Diego, down in Carson, and they're worried that means you're going to go.
Well, how many times can I tell you that we're trying to stay in Oakland? How many times can I tell you that?
What's the holdup? What's the problem?
The problem?
Yeah.
Well, I really don't want to get into the negotiations and those kind of things, but we're working with the city of Oakland and the county of Alameda trying to come up with a deal to stay in Oakland.
Mr. Davis, have you closed on a land deal in Carson?
Yes, we did.
When did that happen?
Last night.
And for how much?
What do you mean for how much? How much do you think it was for?
I'm asking. I'm not a real estate.
I'm not so sure that I'm supposed to be talking about those kind of things.
How much time realistically does Oakland have to put a proposal on the table that can keep you?
Yesterday. But I think on June 21st they have a deliverable date to us to come up with a financing plan to help put the stadium together. As I said, we've got $500 million, including the NFL's.
Has anyone presented you the original Coliseum City deal, which is exactly what you asked for yesterday? In other words,
what's that?
The original Coliseum City deal that was formed in 2006 through 2009. Have you ever seen that one? This is actually what you asked for. Has anyone presented that deal?
We haven't gotten anything. We haven't gotten anything. All right? Nothing.
Talk about to a
and
Raider
that's why we have to look for options.
To a Raider
we have gotten nothing in response.
What are the chances you're going to stay in Oakland, or the chances you're moving to LA?
I would ask the city of Oakland and the county of Alameda. We want to stay. So if it were up to me, it's 100%.
And what would it take from the city of Oakland, county of Alameda?
Well, we have to come up with the financing gap that we have to build a stadium. We need to, and that's really the situation.
Money, just money.
Yeah, and land, and there is a situation in Oakland that's different from anywhere else, and that's we have a baseball team. And as you know, we're the only team playing on a baseball field for the first half of our season. And the Oakland A's have to make a decision on what they want to do as well.
Could there be?
We have made the, I don't know what it would be, but we would like for the A's to stay. Selfishly, we'd like to have that land all to ourselves, but we'd like the A's to stay. We'd like the Raiders to stay. We'd like to build a baseball and a football stadium. Maintain the parking that we have so we have a game day experience with tailgating and everything else. But I don't want to build a football stadium in the corner of a parking lot, leave the current Coliseum standing, build a beautiful new stadium, and then be in a construction zone for the next 3 or 4 years while they tear down the Coliseum where it stands and build a new baseball stadium and inconvenience the fans.
Could there
We're
be a
ready to take
consideration about a possibility of maybe Concord or Walnut Creek to where they could still be called the Oakland Raiders, and they could still stay in the Bay Area without moving to Southern California because we.
And you know how to fill that funding gap.
Well, you're the owner. I mean, we as.
So no one talked to you about
Mark, is this the 11th hour for the home markets?
I don't want to put a time limit on it, but it's getting close.
So
It's
if I
getting
may,
really
sir,
close.
then
Do you anticipate a vote before the end of the season?
I don't know how that process is going to work.
So if I may, so no one's mentioned a lease revenue bond financing structure like it's proposed in Carson?
What's that now?
No one has mentioned in the Oakland case a lease revenue bond structure as was proposed in Carson.
No.
Wow.
What is the funding gap? How much does the city
Well,
kind of need?
we're looking at about a $900 million stadium to build in Oakland, and we've got $500 million. So it's about a $400 million funding gap. And if in fact the land is included in the deal and the infrastructure, which is they've talked about offering, then we've got about a $400 million funding gap.
Isn't that a
Mark,
hard
how
sell
do you view
for
the state
taxpayers
Monty
of Oakland?
plan?
Would you say?
I would think so. I would think so. And the problem is we haven't had any commitment that we could have the land and that we do have the infrastructure so that we could find somebody to help fill that funding gap. And possibly now that the city and the county are working together for the first time, that they may be able to come up with an answer up there.
Mark, what do you think of the
What's that?
How does Carmen help in this process?
I think you'd have to ask him and Dean and that.
Were
I'm
you
really
not behind that hiring?
I'm behind it, but I'm really concentrating on Oakland, and I think